Hello everybody, this is Jeffrey GT7 and welcome to the episode. Hopefully you guys are having a great day today as we got ourselves yet another cool combo to use at Tokyo Expressway 600. The first car that I'll be using is going to be the legendary Porsche 917K Le Mans prototype. I'll be showcasing on how to get the car and pretty much the whole entire build plus the race for that car. And after we get done with this car, the next car I'll be using is going to be a request run using the Honda Civic Type R EK touring car with its swap. So just like I'm going to do with the Porsche, I'll showcase on how to get the car, the parts you'll need, and of course the run. And hopefully at the end of this episode, both these builds will help out. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so to find the first car, which is going to be the Porsche 917K, you can actually get this car at the Legends car dealership. It's going to cost you about 18 million credits just to buy it. So if you do have some credits lying around, you can just buy it. And I think the reason why this car is so special is because it's rare. Also a very historic car with a really amazing story behind it too. For the parts for the tuning shop for this car, we're going to be using sport hard tires. Under sports category for club sports, you'll need both the power restrictor and the ballast as well. For semi-racing, full control computer with fully customized LSD, fully customized manual transmission, and that is going to pretty much be it for the rest of the build, because the rest of the parts you see there is actually what comes with the car, and that's going to be it. So after you get your parts, here is a look at the tune. It's only this one particular sheet right here. So if you want to go ahead and just pause the episode and just copy down the numbers you see for suspension, the LSD, the downforce, the ballast, and the horsepower. It's going to be very, very simple to pretty much nerf it until it does reach that 700 or 600 point criteria. So as we get to the race, I was actually kind of curious on what this car was capable of doing. Since I done this run for the past 2 or 3 years, I really haven't been able to actually try out this car in this particular race, and I was actually got pretty nervous and wasn't too sure what this car was capable of doing. But just seeing how the car was, how it drove, the way it felt, the handling, the lightweight of the car, it actually felt pretty well rounded, even with sport hard tires. As you can see in the first turn, the car actually does really much turn that first corner pretty well. Even the next apex, the car just seems naturally just goes at the racing line without any issues, and even come out the corner, the car very grippy, very grounded, and it just felt really, really smooth and very comfortable to drive. Now in this particular race too, I want to mention that I actually did this race with my PS5 controller, and even with the controller, if you're a controller user, this actually might be a little bit fun to drive. Now if you are a wheel user, I personally don't think you have any issues with this car, just by looking at the way it drives. If you do have any issues with it, I will suggest probably add some more front downforce possibly to the car, just in case if it doesn't turn all too great, or if it actually does get a bit loose. Probably just reduce the horsepower just a little bit and probably add more downforce to both the front and the rear possibly, or take some off from the rear. But as you can see, I would say probably the only negative thing about the car is I did notice during this race that whenever you actually do hit the wall, the car itself is like it's glued to the wall once you hit it. It actually stays in there for maybe a half a second, and then you then can actually get off the wall, which is quite weird that car seemed to do that. It will actually just somehow magically find its way to the wall and just, stay stuck for at least maybe a millisecond, and then you can get out of the wall. But for our first lap, not too shabby at all. Got us in the top 5. We got a lot of drivers up front being pretty racy and kind of being in the way, but not too bad for a first lap. We're going to go ahead and get P3 as we're about to head the tunnel, but we're going to go ahead and fast forward to the part we're actually going to take the lead, which is going to be lap 3, pretty much halfway mark, and you can just see that corner. That car just really turned very well in that corner right there. We're going to get a nice run on the NSX, make a move on its right side, got the lead, and from that point on we just basically just dropped the hammer and just ran away from it. So we're going to go ahead now and fast forward to lap 7. It's going to be our official hot lap. I do recommend you guys just watch this hot lap, see what the car is doing. If you're curious of what lap times we ran, you can also check out on the right side of the screen as well. and I'll see you guys when we get to our pit stop. So let's go ahead and fast forward lap 9. We're going to come in pit road and get ourselves just a refuel and fuel. The tires are in really good shape. So tires, no need to be concerned about the tires. Just leave them as is. Just worry about refueling the car. And just like I did mention before, maybe if you possibly could run this maybe on the lean mix like 4, 5, or 6, you probably could make this a no-stop race, possibly. I'm not too sure, but it's always possible. As we get done with this race, the car just did really good from start to finish. It's going to be a very solid 26:16 for our total time, which I thought wasn't too bad considering this car being much older compared to the rest of the group of cars. Now here's the rest of the results. 26:16, well, of course, a hot lap as you saw right there. Got ourselves that standard bonus, and that's going to be it for race 1. Alright, let's go ahead and get started on race number 2. Here is the car, like I said, the Civic Type R touring car. You can find this car at the used car dealership. It's going to cost you about 122,800 credits. This is a pretty much like a race car type of car, and that's kind of why it's a bit more expensive compared to other cars in the game. Now, after you grab this car, the main focus we're going to do next is going to be the engine swap. And as you can see, the swap is in fact another Civic engine. And the strange part about this engine swap, the PP actually drops a little bit, which is quite strange. But if you are in fact level 50 in the game, I would really recommend purchasing this engine swap for this car. It's going to make you well worth it. It's going to be well worthwhile as well. Now, if you're not level 50, just go to your tuning parts at home and see if you got the engine and install it from there. For the parts, pretty simple. Under the semi-racing category, we're going to be using the high RPM turbocharger, the fully customized LSD, and then for the racing category, we'll be just using pretty much what you all see that's under purchase is what we'll be using for this car. Even the racing medium tires as well, and that's going to be it for our parts for the car. For our custom parts at car customization, here is the custom racing rims I'll be using for the car, the Oz Italia 150 rims. And for your front bumper, it's going to be type A. And then for your last part, it's going to be the wing. It's going to be type B. And that's going to be it for the parts from car customization. Alright, so for your tune sheet, here it is right here. Racing medium tires with a fully customized suspension. Downforce, there it is right there as well. This is going to be pretty much be a very easy, simple build. A lot more aggressive as well, with a fully customized racing transmission, as you can see there as well. That's going to be the first part of your list. For the next part of the tuning list, here it is right here. high RPM turbocharger with strong anti-lag system, racing muffler, racing brake pads, and brake system. And once you get all this together, you should have a perfect even 600 for your tuning list number. And trust me, this car is going to be very, very quick. It'll be surprisingly strong at first, considering that this car is in fact an FF type, which is pretty strange for, for an FF type to be pretty strong, especially in this race. But you can see just the acceleration, very, very good acceleration right off the bat. We're going to go ahead and just take a lot of spots right before we actually leave the tunnel. Now, one thing I want to point out is we are using racing tires, so just be careful whenever you get to a damp moisture spot on the track, otherwise it's going to be pretty much be game over. So if you wanted to take the gamble and do racing tires, you can, or if you want to take the safer approach and just use either medium or soft sport tires, you can as well. But for me personally, I think the racing tires are probably the better choice, because not only does it offer you better grip, but if you do think about it in the long term, if you just survive the first 2 or 3 laps in this race and just stay on the drive part, then from lap 4 all the way to the end of the race, you'll be in good shape and not having to worry about getting into the wet stuff. But as you can see, got ourselves P3 pretty early in this race, but we're not quite done yet. This car very, very good on the corners thanks to the racing medium tires. It's going to really help you a lot in these corners, and also being lightweight too is going to be a huge advantage in this race. And you can just tell that we are actually gaining a lot of time on both the race leader and on the RX-7 as well. As we get to this corner, we're going to pretty much play it smart on the RX-7. We're going to make a move after this apex. You'll see we'll get ourselves a really good big run right there on that RX-7 and just get a good shot, getting ourselves P2. And as we approach that very tricky right hand turn, this car is actually pretty decent in this last turn. As you can see, once we get to the apex, you can see we're just going to let it roll naturally. When we get out of the corner, we get back on the power. Now you will have to short shift, that way you're not going to overheat those front tires, which is quite unfortunate. That might be the weakest turn for that car. Other than that, the car should do pretty decently well in the rest of the track. As we get done with our first lap, we're going to come short of becoming the race leader, but as soon as we start lap 2, we're going to immediately grab the race lead and basically run away from it from the rest of the field. And let me just say, we did run away from it. Lap 5 is going to be our first of 2 pit stops. We're going to go ahead and get ourselves not only some race fuel, but also get ourselves a new set of racing mediums. Unfortunately, with these racing tires, they're going to be pretty much worn out pretty quickly, which is quite unfortunate. Now for the refueling, I'm going to do only 5 laps, since that is a given good benchmark, since we do know that we can survive about 5 laps average on the set of tires. Fast forward to lap 9, we're going to go ahead and pit for the last time, again with another set of racing mediums. We've actually did hit some back markers in this next run, and we're going to do get new tires. For the fuel, we're going to refuel until we pass that little diamond icon, and then that's going to be it for our pit strategy. So it's pretty simple, just 2 pit stops, about 5 laps once you're done with that first pit stop, and then you can refill whatever you need left over for your fuel on your last pit stop. But for lap 11, it's going to be our official hot lap, so I really would recommend you just watch this hot lap, and I'll see you guys when we get to the end of the race. Alright, as we get to the end of the race, we had a very blistering race overall. Matter of fact, this is probably one car I failed to mention back in my top 8 cars to use for this race series. As you can see, this car just basically just swept the whole entire field, almost put the whole entire field one lap down. Just came a little bit short from the RX-7, but yeah, this car very blistering quick. So if you do have the swap and the car itself combination, I would highly suggest trying it out, and trust me, it's going to pretty much help you a lot in this grind. Also, it'll be a great car to use for them as well. That's going to be it for this episode. Here's the next preview of the next episode. It's going to be using the modern Dodge Viper. Haven't used this car before at this track, and this car actually surprised me. Actually, it was a very good, well-rounded car. So hopefully this episode helps a lot. If you guys did in fact enjoy today's episode, why not go ahead and leave a like. If you'd like to support the channel and like to see my content later down the road, you're more welcome to subscribe channel as well. I really want to thank all of you guys' support for this channel and for it's been growing. If you have any issues with these tunes, you can check out my Discord and just send me some screenshots. That way I can help you out and figure out what's the problem with the tunes that is not matching with my tunes. That way you guys will have a chance to try out these 2 tunes. Here's the last episode. You want to check it out. And with that all being said, hopefully you guys have a great rest of your night, where you might be, and I'll see you guys later, and take care.